Hi there, this is Charlie at My Messy Fingers. Welcome. I'm going to do a walkthrough with you on an album I just finished. Scrap and Create, who is an online scrapbooking store, sent me this beautiful collection by Ciao that is called Coral Reef. This album measures 10 by 10 and does have a 2.5-inch spine. Now, it did take me 2 packs of the 12 by 12 core design, 2 packs of the 8-sheet patterns, and 1 pack of the 9-sheet A4 papers to make this. I had maybe 2 12 by 12s and 2 A4 papers left when I got done with this. The one thing that I saw on this collection that was a major feature for me was this big porthole, and I wanted to do something with it. But I do need to give a shout out to Amazon Tammy. I was on her YouTube channel and I was watching one of her videos, and she was playing with a porthole very much like this, and it gave me the inspiration to do something on the front of this album. Now, I did back this. It is done in black. I did back it with a rust-colored orange to try to pull some of the rust color out of the paper collection. And then I cut out the porthole. I went in and cut out a second layer, and then using 2 different circle dies that I have, cut additional layers on my die cutting machine. And I also cut out the very center of this paper, which you can't see it. There's actually a lighthouse back here, and the rock here along the ocean wall, ocean front. And then I took some acetate and placed it in and put some blue, light blue, teal, white colored bling on the inside of it to make a shaker window on the front of the album. Off of the cut-apart sheets, off the cut-apart sheets, I did cut out these 3 elements, backed them on black cardstock, and then placed them here for additional bling. When I got the collection, I got a baggie of brass goodies, so I put a couple of them here on the front for an accent. I did cut out off the cut-aparts that life is better by the sea. And then on my buckle, I went to Joann's and got a thin piece of leather, and I cut my own strap, punched some holes into it, and then placed it on a buckle. And then I have attached these to the front and to the back. Now here on the end, I had some chain that somewhat reminded me of the type of chain you might see on a smaller scale coming out of an opening in a boat or a ship that drops the anchor. So I thought I would use that here on the end of the album. And in that bag of goodies that Julie sent to me were all these little brass items. And we've got a seashell. We have a gear, we've got another gear, we have a ship's steering wheel, a seahorse, we have an octopus, and then we've got another gear, a compass rose, and then there's a turtle. So this is what I've put here on the end. Now, this is just some chain that I had in my stash. You can certainly use any chain that you have in yours. And then on the back, I did cut out from the cut-aparts the saying that the voice of the sea speaks to the soul, and I placed a ship's wheel just right behind it. Now this is popped up so that you get kind of a layered effect to it, and I couldn't help but playing with it that way. But let's take a look on the inside. On this signature, we have a cutout of the cut-apart page, as well as this. This is a smaller version of the porthole. Now, this sheet here is off of a 12 by 12, but the bottom part of the sheet has some alphabets. And on the flip side of that, it's the description of what's in the packet for the coral reef. And that's where I found this. And I cut it out and put it on black cardstock and then mounted it here on the front of the album. So with these being 2/3 of the page, I went to the cut apart paper page and I cut out the 2 long border strips, and then I used it as the filler to bridge the gap here on this page. And then when you open this up, we have a beautiful spot here for photos. The same thing, it was short, and so I used the border off of the cut apart page in order to fill that in. And then here on this piece of paper, it's a full 12 by 12. Well, not in the book, but on the full 12 by 12 was this turtle. It's actually a part of this piece of paper. What I did was I cut him out and then I taped him right along this ridge and I made him into a tuck rather than creating a long pocket of sorts. And you have plenty of room here to put additional large photo items. Just something different. And then over here we have a tuck. And then here we have a belly band. So I've got the base page, the band, and then I put on this card. I love the saying poop deck. I think that is just cute. I had to giggle when I saw that. So I have a pull-out card, and it is featuring the big octopus. And up on top, you've got a spot for photo. And then down here, we've got some more photo opportunities. You can put some smaller photos here. And then when you open it up, you've got large photo opportunity, and then you have a tuck and another place where you can put a large photo. And it slides right back in there. And then on this particular page, these being the signatures, I made 2 pull-out cards rather than one large 9 3/4 by 9 1/2 pull-out card. I actually took black cardstock, measured where the middle was, and made 2 pockets so that they were smaller pull-out cards that could go into the album, giving you additional places to put photos. So then when we turn and we go here, this is a large cutout that is on the cut apart page, as well as this is a part of your cutouts. I backed this on black cardstock and I used it here as a big tuck on the front of this page. Then when you open it up in here, this is in the wrong direction, we have a beautiful spot here for a couple of photos or one large photo, and then we have a pocket. Now, this octopus was a part of my stash and has been for the longest time, and I didn't know quite what to do with him, but I thought he was adorable, so that's why I have him. So when I got this paper collection, I couldn't help myself. He needed to be a feature. He needed to be a part of the album. So I did talk to Julie, and she went ahead and ordered some of these, and she's got them on her website for sale. That'll include some jump rings and about a 4-inch piece of chain so that you can include it in your album as well. Then when you open it up here, we've got a tuck, spot for a photo. We have another pocket, and then we have another tuck here with photo opportunity. And then when you open it up here, more tucks, photo, big tuck, big pocket here. Lots of photos. This will actually hold 2 decent sized photos right here. And then we have an upward tuck here on this page. Okay, moving on. On this one, we have a nice size side entering pocket on the front. And then when you open this up, these 2 pieces here, this one and this one, were one 12 by 12 sheet of paper. I cut out the mechanical fish, mounted him on black cardstock, and then ran tape on this edge so that he became a tuck. and then you still have room to put a decent sized photo up above. Again, rather than putting in a long pocket, I'm using the featured items on the papers as a tuck. And when you get over here to the opposite side, we have the mechanical starfish. Again, I cut him out. I secured it down on these 3 points. And again, here's another tuck rather than a pocket. And you still have room down here to put a fairly decent sized photo. And then the cutout cards, I took 4 of them, mounted them on the back side with some paper, creating some additional photo opportunities. And then here down the middle, we have a belly band that has some tucks in it on both sides. And oh, and then here are 2 more of the pull-out pockets. And then we get back here. Now I had, these 2 are off 1 cut. And again, they're short. They're off of a 12 by 12, which got the alphabet across the bottom. But I went to the second sheet of cut-aparts that I have and cut these borders out and again use them as fillers to take up for the page. Now, this page being 1 cut, I did have 1 of this section here. And so what I did with it instead was I cut out the lantern and the 3 other elements, backed them on cardstock, put some pop-ups on them, and then created some depth by putting them right back in their respective places. And then when you open this up, we got ourselves a nice tuck right here. Open it up again, and we've got an upper tuck. Nice spot for some photos. And over here, we have the same thing. We have an upper tuck. These are from the cutouts. And then you open this up, and you have a large page for photos here and here. We have another tuck, and then we've got a pocket. Then when you come to the opposite side, we've got another spot here for big photos, another pocket, and another tuck. Now in the center, these are their respective sizes. I decided to leave them alone and put them in this album as they are, backed them on some different paper, put 2 different tucks on them. And then here in the center, I used some of the smaller cutout cards, backed them with some scrap paper so that there were some photo opportunities, and then using this as a little tuck, putting a brad for its attachment. And then we've got a big pocket, and you have lots of room here for big photos. And then here on the last signature, we have the airship. It's a part of your cut-aparts. So I cut him out, I mounted him on black cardstock, and then in my scraps, there was this piece of paper that had this saying on it, meet me where the sky touches the sea. I thought that was so appropriate. And here we have the airship over the waters, up in the sky, so I thought it was appropriate to put it there. I did have a different saying there that you'll notice when you go into the tutorials. I had this saying down here where it says, let the sea set you free, but I swapped those 2 out. We have a cut apart, we have a pocket. This particular piece of paper right here is what was left over from this cut right here. So it is of the lighthouse. We have a pocket over here, and this piece of paper is again from my scraps, and it simply says the crab. It would be kind of fun to have a lighthouse that had a restaurant at the bottom of it and it was called the Crab. I think that would be great. So then when you get in here, we have the big airship. I could not do justice with this by trying to fussy cut it, and I think I would not win any favors for having done that. So I did kind of cut it down to size. And then when you open this up here, we have some nice elements here, but you can go ahead and put photos. And then we have 2 big panels here for photos with some tucks here. Open this up and we have again 2 more big panels, and we have tucks on both sides, a large deep pocket, but you have plenty of room here for a large photo. And then you have a piece up here where you could do some dedication. And there you have it, Coral Reef by Ciao. So also want to mention that send some love over to Scrap and Create. I've provided the link in this description down below, and pick up the collection from them. When you do, she will include these little brass elements. And also this is for sale on my Etsy site, so that link is also down below as well. So thank you for tagging along, and I'll see you on the next one.